Do you screen for sleep apnea? Do you help your patients understand the problems with sleep apnea as a dentist? I'm here with Dr. Geoff from University of Michigan, and he helps dentists do this all the time. Dr. Geoff, thanks for joining us today. And I'm so excited that you guys are a sponsor of the group with your sleep apnea training program. Or actually, maybe you could share, tell us, what is the name of this program you guys help dentists with, and what will they learn by participating in it?
All right. Well, it's a dental sleep medicine mini residency. It's a 105-hour course that we give yearly, and we go through the A, B's, and C's of how to treat your patients that have sleep apnea. We believe that there are probably around 18 million to 23 million Americans that are not diagnosed, let alone being treated. And of course, dentists as frontline primary caregivers are probably maybe up to 15% of every dentist.
I'll say this, Geoff. I'll say something to you right now that my wife never says to me. You ready for it?
Yeah,
no, I mean,
yeah.
You could talk a little louder for us, but I'm going to share
Okay.
what you were said. So you said there's 18 million Americans that can be helped by this.
Correct.
And maybe just share with our audience, why are dentists so important in this, whether you want to call it a fight, a battle, helping people be healthier? You know, where's the dentist's role? I mean, you can talk us through even the most basic, hey, I'm just hearing about sleep apnea today. Should I have my team fill out a survey, all the way up to how, when people take your 105-hour course, how they can go back to their offices and truly deliver help to their patients?
Sure. Because dentists see the vast majority of patients, they see more. Am I okay with the?
Yeah, doing better. Yeah. Keep up your loud talking. Talk like me.
Okay.
But no one's ever told me to talk louder. They told me to talk lower many a times, but not louder. So you're doing great.
I'll pretend like I'm yelling to you in California.
Yes, perfect.
Okay. So as I was saying earlier, about 15% of the population has undiagnosed sleep apnea, which means that about 15% or so of a patient's practice probably contains those people. And it's very easy to identify people who may be at risk by just doing head and neck exams. So dentists are in the perfect place to be able to make those initial screening exams and send them on to the primary care physicians for a full diagnosis. Now, sleep apnea is a medical condition, so dentists can't actually diagnose, but they can screen and then send them on for further help. And you're basically saving patients' lives when you do this, because there is a lot of comorbidity and mortality, early mortality, that is associated with untreated sleep apnea.
And I'll share from my practice perspective, we've had a dentist in there doing that over the years, and patients are so grateful to, I would say, get their life back. So now let's dig into your course, right? So we got dentists watching in, dentists listening in, and they say, I want to get involved with this. I think this program that you're running sounds like something I would be interested in doing. Break down the details of this program. Is it in person? Is it online? Is there a combination?
It's a combination. So the majority of the didactic is online, so that a dentist can do it at her.
You can still keep yelling at me, by the way, too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So most of it is online, the didactic part, so that a dentist can do the course at his or her own pace. But all the clinical stuff is in person, and the in-person part typically is 2 weekends over the course of a year.
And I love that. So it's really optimal learning when you can digest, to use a Nacho term, digest information on your own time, but then still come in person for the figured out factor. Because I think that as someone who's 46, and I'm going to guess you're 47, right? Or 48?
Yeah, 47, something like that, yeah.
Our generation, we only could come in person, and that had vulnerabilities because you got back to your office sometime and said, oh, what do I do next? I can't connect with someone. So the ability to connect online is amazing, but the figure it out factor in person, when you can be standing shoulder to shoulder with someone talking about this. So as we kind of wrap up and talk this, I want to tell people they can text sleep to 215-543-6454 to get a special nacho deal on your amazing training program. They can reach out to us at salsa@dentalnachos.com. But I talk about what's the ROI of CE. And many people think that's return on investment. But I talk about the relationships, opportunities, and impact you get to have on your patients and team. So think of someone who's taken this course, Dr. Geoff, and gone back to their office and maybe reached out to you and said, I'm so glad I did it. I wish I did it sooner. I'm able to transform lives. My team's excited. Leave us with a story of excitement.
Well, I'd have to say that I've never heard the opposite of that. All people who go through this course are basically extremely enthusiastic about what it has done to their practices and the kind of rapport it gets among their patients. Those who have been in practice for anywhere from 6 months to 14 years that I'm aware of have had nothing but positive experiences with this. I can't imagine how you could have a negative experience with this.
And also, as a dentist, sometimes it's nice to not have to pick up a handpiece and help someone. The dentist who was so amazing, who did in our practice in his early 60s, he said, not many people have ever thanked me for a class 2. And by not many, he said no one, but
No
I
one.
have people hugging me who've done this. And I just think what I can kind of inspire our audience to do is the patients who do this often say, I wish I did it sooner.
Yeah.
So don't be like them, dentists. Be the dentist who says, I am going to do this sooner, because there's so many dentists that take CE, not necessarily too late, but later than that would have had the impact on their practices. So pay attention to this. Text sleep to 215-543-6454. I want to share, Dr. Geoff, you got a great shout out in our Facebook group. So make sure you go and find that, because they said that you were so helpful in training them. And we just really appreciate you sharing with us today.
Well, thank you. That's great to know.
Awesome.